Well, hello folks, and I hope you're all still keeping well out there. Sorry you haven't heard much from me as last while, but I've been taking her easy since Christmas. But I've still been hunting and filming, so there is footage to come. And to start us off, this video is a wee bit of a mashup of different clips filmed through the year using the Pard NV007. The foxes are taken with a CZ527 treble 2, and the rabbits at the end are with a couple of different bolt action 2.2 rimfires. This one unfortunately is a bit of a kicker, but thankfully it goes down and it stays down. I was using a 40 grain Nousler ballistic tip here, something I've dropped many a fox with no problem at all. But after this fox and a few others you'll see in the video, I decided to up the ante to a 50 grain Hornady soft point. I'd love to say that this was one and done here, but unfortunately the 40 grains let me down again and I needed a second shot to finish him off. I left this clip in to show that things don't always happen to plan. I had been sitting in the dark waiting on this fox, and when I spotted it, it was coming from a fairly overgrown area. I was hoping that it would actually come in below the sheep wire and I would get a nice shot at its chest, but unfortunately for some reason it decided to follow the fence line further on down the field, keeping the tall grass and weeds between me and it until I finally lost it and never seen it again, unfortunately. I don't know why I'm putting all these sob stories at the front of this video. Maybe I'm just trying to get my excuses out of the way first. But this was a fairly long shot, probably around 200 yards for me, on the ground I usually shoot over. I had tried calling the fox and it had just sat down and wasn't coming any closer, and there was a very noisy gate between me and it, so decided to take the shot off the tripod where I was. It was a bit of a breezy night, so I held a little to the right. The shot sounded good, but even after looking, I never did find the fox, so it maybe was just the bullet hitting the soft earth behind. Here I'd spotted a bit of eye shine with the Pard NV007 spotter. Got the rifle onto the tripod, only to realise it was just a couple of hares, only for a fox to walk right by the two of them. It knew I was there, but I had to wait till it cleared the top of the hedge before I had a clear shot. I managed to stop the fox in a gap with a little lip squeak, only to realise I hadn't the safety catch off yet. A second squeak to stop it again, and I got the shot off. It got a short distance and then just ran out a puff. While I was searching round the field with the head torch looking for that fox, I looked behind me and seen eye shine. That was a second fox. Again, I got the rifle set up in the tripod and waited till it walked in front of a big bank of earth before giving it a squeak to stop. Not that it gave me much of a target, but I managed to drop it all the same. These clips aren't really in order, but I'm pretty sure I shot the two of these both with the soft nose 50 grain Hornady bullets. I spotted this one in the field behind the cattle shed, somewhere I've seen them quite often actually, and had the biggest flinch you'd ever seen. Look at that, I pulled the shot clean wide to the left, followed him up the field and reloaded, trying to get a second shot, but it never would stay still enough. then he finally got too close to the top of the field and I decided it wasn't a safe shot anymore, so let it go. This is a few nights later, in the exact same spot, with a fox coming down the field in almost exactly the same way as the other one. I couldn't tell you if it was the same fox or not, but this time I took a little more care with the shot. I think I hit it this time. When I walked out to pick this one up, the field was that wet, I went down a rattle, and the only thing keeping me out of the muck and clobber was the butt of the gun, which sunk in almost up to the scope. Here, I don't think I even squeaked, just set the rifle up on the tripod, had a wee scan, and there was a fox looking straight at me. Handy dandy, hey. This was back in the ice and snow. I had the rifle set up in the tripod calling away when I spotted a fox down below me. It was that light I didn't even need the night vision to see it. Though of course it could see me too, but stopped for one last look. Even though it was fatally hit with the 50 grain soft nosed bullet, it still managed to jump the sheep wire twice before dropping dead about 50 yards away. Now this is one of those phantom foxes that everybody else has seen but you. I knew it was there though, as I'd seen its footprints in the snow, so I sat up one cold night waiting for it with the rifle on the tripod. It never seemed interested in the call any other night I tried, so I sat quietly in the dark hoping to catch it unawares, only for a thick fog to roll in and threaten to end play. So a quick couple of blasts on the fox call, and guess who appeared? Okay, we're into the rabbits now, and all these are taken with a 2-2 rimfire. Actually, to be exact, two different bolt action rimfires. Yes, after all the trouble I had with my Ruger 1022 misfeeding and so forth, I finally got myself a bolt action rimfire. I used the same scope in both rifles, an Athlon Helos BTR Gen 2 2-12x42. I'm not sure if I really like it or not. It's a first focal plane scope, and the reticle's a wee bit busy in the centre for me. I usually prefer a much simpler design. Also, I didn't find out till later on that the Pard NV007 doesn't like first focal plane scopes, as the crosshairs seem to go blurry when you change the scope's magnification up and down. Put it right over its head, and wait till you see the second shot for a cracker. Yep, the gun was empty. Don't you hate 5-shot magazines? Well, at least I can hit the close ones. Oops, spoke too soon, pulled that one right by the front of its nose. And it's not hanging around for a second shot either. Surely I can't miss this one. There's some of the fields in this farm are quite overgrown with thistles and rushes, which makes it quite hard to see the rabbits at times. Missed again. To be honest, I was having trouble with the first rimfire that I bought, a little Savage Mark II with the black tactical stock and 16-inch fluted barrel. It was a lovely little rifle and suited my needs perfectly, except for the 5-shot magazine that only really worked with 4 rounds in it. There she is there, but no matter what ammunition I fed her, she just kept throwing flyers, giving you 1.5 to 2-inch groups at 50 yards, which is a bit odd as they seem to have a good following. I tried changing the scope and mounts, I gave the bore a wee bit of a polish, even pillar bedded it, but nope, ended up trading it in for a Tikka T1X, which doesn't give me any bother. And to top it all, I fixed the 1022 with a simple washer and now it runs like a sewing machine. Ah dear, surely I'm not the only one who's had gun problems. Anyway, take care folks and look after yourselves, hey.